This is Inside Out.
All right, welcome to the Inside Out Yorwaliro special edition ne Senior Counsel Asuman Basalirwa, the president of the Justice Forum Party, the member of parliament for Bugiri municipality, a man of his own seasons, one of the popular members of parliament now. We even keep wondering, why do you speak more than others? Basala will speak almost every day and others will take the last 2.5 years without saying anything. Where is the secret? You're welcome.
Thank you very much, my brother. Sir Simon Muyanga Lutaya. I'm really very grateful and excited to be part of this discussion. I want to thank you so much for what you are doing for the country. We always say we may be in different spaces, but the ultimate objective is to put a brick on our country.
On your country.
Yes, because
a building block on our country.
Yes, because a drive of a permanent secretary is playing a role.
He's playing a role, delivering the PS where it's supposed to be.
A person who plays for Uganda Cranes is
also
playing
a role, making our country shine.
An MP is playing a role, a judge. So even you people who are in this space, what we call the media space, you are equally playing very great roles in informing, sensitizing, educating, and providing platform to all of us to equally share our views and ideas. So I am glad to be here.
That's very good. Welcome. Council K. Abasoga balina olugero olugamba nti gw'olilekera omwana omutunuulira omumwa. Olaba omuntu omwogunye nti era buli kiseera kitegeeza bw'omulekeramu olug'omwana ayinza obutakalya. The late Yusufu Nsubuga, the late Hussein Chanjo, and the late Muhammad Kibirige Mayanja is still living. Passed on a party to you. Just how have you held the party?
Well, you need to understand why JEEMA was formed. JEEMA is not part of the historical or traditional parties.
Yes.
JEEMA is a party that evolved around the 1990s.
Yes.
And in 1986, Mr. Museveni and the NRC at that time introduced what we called Legal Notice Number 1. Legal Notice Number 1 was a law that banned political parties that were there at that time. Because of very many reasons. Mr. Museveni had accused the previous parties of being based on, being sectarian, based on tribe and religion and the others. Now, there was a need to create a new dispensation that is not associated with the past.
True.
So those are the circumstances that led to the evolution of JEEMA. First, as I would call it, a pressure group in 1996, when we fronted Mr. Manya for presidential candidate under JEEMA or Justice Forum, which I'll also be explaining later on. It was a pressure group because at that time parties were outlawed.
True.
In 2005, I was Secretary of Legal Affairs of JEEMA. So I and Honorable Chanjo are the ones who registered JEEMA as a political party. And at that time, unlike now, parties were being registered with the registry of companies.
As a company now?
Yes. Now you go to the to the Electoral Commission. So JEEMA is an acronym. What we stand for: justice, education, economic revitalization, morality, and African unity. Because people were asking
economic revitalization.
Exactly. M stands for morality.
Morality.
And A stands for African unity.
African unity.
Now the name of the party is Justice Forum. JEEMA is an acronym. They are used interchangeably. And in the constitution, they both appear.
Which constitution? The constitution of the parties?
The JEEMA party constitution.
Okay.
So when you say JEEMA or Justice Forum, you are really basically talking about the same thing. Our desire for the country should rotate around those issues we have articulated. Justice in all forms, social, economic, political justice, education.
When do you handle education? Just as we talk now, the country is undergoing an education policy review.
Yes.
We have not had you present anything. So
No.
when you talk about education?
No, we have presented, and I wanted to make a point here. Are you aware, for example, that the idea of education for all is our idea?
You, the JEEMA?
Yes. Look at the JEEMA manifesto of 1996. Yes. I want you to look at the JEEMA manifesto of 1996. And look at the manifesto of the late Samuel Gerrard of 1996. And look at the manifesto of Mr. Museveni of 1996. Which of those three manifestos articulated education for all?
Sure.
It is the JEEMA manifesto. And we are glad that an aspect that we articulated was later embraced.
Somebody has told me that Obote left this on paper.
No.
The university education.
No, no. Well, he could have left it in whatever form. But the point I am emphasizing is that it was one of the issues we articulated in our manifesto in 1996.
I remember at that time it appeared like not possible. Somebody said
exactly.
Possible.
And you see, the reason why it was well articulated, because the JEEMA presidential candidate at that time, Mr. Manya, had been an education planner.
True.
Both in the Ministry of Education, but also at Makerere University, where he was working at that time. So there
has
was
he left Makerere?
Yeah, he has since retired. It's now coming to about 10 years now since he left. So that's one thing we articulate. Even the issue of morals, the idea of ethics and integrity ministry that you see now is an idea that we articulated from our aim in JEEMA.
That is the aim.
Yes. So that is part of our contribution we have made to the country. And we are glad that they may not be operating the way we would have wanted, but at least the ideas
something
are there.
was picked.
They are being talked about, they are being implemented, and if we were in a political arrangement that respects discussion and dialogue, we would have been invited at the planning table because you see, as the English say, where there are initiators, there can only be imitators.
Because the initiation is done.
Whatever you are seeing here is imitation. We did the initiation.
Somebody initiated it. We simply modify what
yes.
exists.
So that is how we evolved. That's why when you look at the leadership of JEEMA, you cannot trace it to what I would call historical baggage. And Mr. Museveni,
what have you called it?
Historical baggage. And Mr. Museveni is good at saying, you UPCs, you DPs, you cannot say that of JEEMA.
You are not part of that.
Exactly. And that was the idea. To have a political dispensation that does not carry what we call historical baggage.
Why is the common understanding that your intention was to promote Islam, that you don't want to associate with others because of Islamic sentiments?
No, it is a deliberate distortion, and I'll tell you why. When we were registering the party, somebody petitioned the registrar that you see, those ones want to promote Islam, they are Muslims, blah blah blah. Somebody petitioned. They called for evidence. It was not provided because, you know, as the law requires, you are to move almost in 2/3 of all the districts of the country
before you register.
Before you are registered.
I remember that.
So you have the names. So there was a scrutiny of the names. We had names all over the country. The leadership of the party at that time, Mr. Mayanja Chividigo was party president. Reverend Santos of Kema was party chairperson.
Reverend Santos of Kema.
You know him very well. You
Yes.
remember him very well.
Yes.
Alex Ojok was vice president of Mr. Mayanja Chividigo. Alex Ojok is actually still the vice president of the party.
Okay.
Chanjo was secretary general, the late Chanjo. Kalinge was deputy secretary general. the Fred Kasaijas were secretary for mobilization, the Kasules Apollos were secretary for youth. Because for us, I would call myself the second layer in JEEMA. So it was a deliberate distortion to try and push us into the defensive.
Is this therefore a coincidence that the presidency has moved from a Muslim Muhammad Chibirige Mayanja to a Muslim Hussein Chanjo to a Muslim Asuman Basalirwa?
No, actually Chanjo has never led the party. He was Secretary General.
He was only your member of parliament at one time.
Yes, he was only our member of parliament. He was Secretary General and he retired. So JEEMA has been led by two people since its inception. Mayanja Chibirige, who was the founding president, and who was propelled in that position by circumstances. In fact, the first, what you would call the first democratically and universally elected party leader in JEEMA is myself.
Okay.
Yes, the first. Because as I said, Mr. Mayanja came up through circumstances. In fact, he just emerged as a presidential candidate by his colleagues through consensus. So those are deliberate distortions. The good thing is that what we do, what we articulate as a party is universal in both scope and application.
Niye muli luddawa kujja kugoweka niwo mulala gwe tuwulira kintu kyafuuka kyo kyakulya mwakyo bagandi mu parliament sente bwe zijja zonna zizo because oli alone and you answer but no body.
Nedda JEEMA buli wamu weetuli. Ekisooka kyennyini okimanyi bulungi nti ffe ekibiina wano mu Uganda ekitabeerangako mu bukulembeze oba ekitabeerangako n'abantu mu bukulembeze ekyasooka okufuna ekitebe ekyayo nga tekipangisa. Statement ogitegedde?
Kitegedde bulungi.
Esente tuzijja mu Muyanga aleeseyo olukumi lwe kuba nakyo kyatutwalira ebbanga.
Mwafuna ekitebe. I remember at one time abamu nga press conference baagala zikolera wamu.
Nga tubawa nga bajja ne babeerayo. So n'olwekyo esente twazisolooza emyaka nga 10. You can imagine obugumiikirizo obwo.
Okufuna ekitebe.
Obugumiikirizo obwo n'obwesigwa. Nti musoloozeza esente ebbanga lya myaka 10.
Naye ng'era bakyabawa.
Kisege. Ne tugamba nti ngali bwe tuzifunye tugula akafo kaffe kano ne tukagula ne tuteekawo akazimbe.
So ekifo ekyo kya Justice Forum kya party si kya Asuman Basalirwa si kya anyone.
Era ekyapa kiri mu mannya ga kibiina. Mu nteekateeka yaffe eyo ey'abaana JEEMA okuleeta 1,200. N'olwekyo bw'obuuza nti tuliwa buli wamu weetuli naye
tetuwulira ng'otegeka banno bategeka delegates conference ne bategeka bino tetubiwulire.
Abibeerayo. For example enkya si Lwakutaano n'Olwomukaaga waliwo regional delegates conference eya Eastern
regional
delegates conference
ng'enaaweza abantu bameka.
Constitution beeyogerako era abateekateeka mu kitongole ky'Electoral Commission kati bali mu kuteekateeka egenda kubeera ebugiri enkya Olwokutaano n'Olwomukaaga
era egenda kubeera bugiri
mwana watu gye balonze eyo religion eyasooka yalirira
this year.
Yes, this year. Regional delegates regional delegates conference. So we have a leader kati bali bugiri then they will go to other regions. Eyo nteekateeka ya Electoral Commission yeri in charge ni party chairperson. Naye nga bwe nkugambye nti oluusi ebyobufuzi byaffe wano kuba oyogeddeko ku bimu bye tujja okwogerako mulimu etteeka ly'ebisya nja kukituukako ne point gye njagala okuleeta saawa zino nti oluusi ebyobufuzi byaffe wano naddala mmwe muli mu mawulire musalawo biki bye musoosowaza ne baani be musoosowaza. Yes, mu musalawo okisege.
So olaba nga JEEMA emaze because for parliaments biri consecutively mubeera ne member of parliament omwo
waliwo abatayina sijja kumalayo kibi sijja kulemesa kubuuza kibuuzo kyo naye njagadde ku interjectinga
nti eri abatayina it is also kikulu nti obadde represented the party has been represented mu records mweri naye ffe ng'abasomesa tewaba growth omwana mu first term n'afuna 40 ne waba afuna 90 ne mu third term 90 neddako 90 atalina progress
anti kati ate gwe okitunuulidde mwange emu njagala okitunuulire broadly nti elective positions ebifo ebirondwa
ewalala tuliyo
nedda gyendi sibo nina bakansala nina bakansala ebugiri nina bakansala mu Kampala muno ne mu bifo ebyo abajeema Natochi Gloria kansala ku district y'ebugiri Mahadi kansala Makindi awo kibugye bali nolwekyo bw'oba otutunuulira nti initially ate ekyo nakyo njaga kukikunnyonnyola initially be baali bateekateeka ekibiina focus yali waggulu ekitegeeza kyova olaba entandikwa yasookera ku bwa president abateekerateekera ekibiina bwe baakiraba bwe batyo kati okudda eno wansi ebadde change of strategy kyova oba oli awo tukyali
mwatandika nga balanti from bottom
ffe twatandikira waggulu kyova olaba mu 96 tewali nabeesimbawo bali associated with the JEEMA focus yonna bali bagitadde ku
naye ku luno nabalaba
kuba president
naye kalire waffe waliwo abalina flag
kakati bwe nzija mu bukulembeze mu 2009 nenkyusa strategy nti ekyobwa president tusooke tukole ki tukireke tutandike okugezaako okukola ki era enteekateeka eyo tugifunyemu okimanyi nti tubadde berusi 5 ebikyanja 2 ebikomansimu 2 times ebisanja secretary general
Mwami Kategga
era yesimbuyewo bwe mupiku luno naye
si yali mu East African
ne mu East Africa naye ne tumuleeta naye candidates tubeera nabo okusinziira ku busobozi bwaffe kuba sijja kugamba nti tuli bagagga nnyo nti tulina obusobozi okuteekawo bakandidate mu Uganda yonna mu busobozi bwaffe tuteekawo bacandidates abamu ne bayitamu ne kugwe mu bwoyogerako twalina over 30
at least people stood
abaali beesimbiyewo
that was the first test representation I know people stood
naye abalonzi ne batatuwa chance batuwaako wantu waawo wamuwoka ebugiri
akasente ka JEEMA akaba mu electoral commission yokalya wekka kuba kati oliyo wekka
tolinawo tekajja lwange electoral commission esente ezisindika direct ku account za kibiina
eya JEEMA
ate mwana watu kankubuulire mu system ya JEEMA omukulembeze w'ekibiina si signatory ku account yonna
are you sure
tewali
as a party president tayina
era njagala kutegeeza nti oluusi zijja nesimanyi nedinda bulinzi nga tuli mu meetings finance secretary n'atuwa report kitegere mukyala n'abalamba Asuman era naye yesimbawo erwenge eyo kitegere so oluusi tufuna report bwe zijja mbamanya nti mu meeting zijja kwanjula
enkozesa yaazo bwekituuka ku nkozesa nga party president ate olina obuvunaanyizibwa
ati kati bwekituuka ku nkozesa yakyo ate nakyo era tekiri kunze ng'omuntu tutuula nga executive nga cabinet ne tukkanya kuba tubeera ne work plan gye tukkanyaako
sofa zikola ki
nti akasente anti kakati for example tuyina kati tugenda mu zizo regional delegates conferences higher of venues ne facilities ezigenda okukola ki okozesebwa tuyina ekitebe tusasula amazzi, tusasula amasannyalaze, tusasula abakozi, naye era tezibeera nnyingi. Kuba mwami Gundi okimanyi bulungi nti esente ezo
kasente kaba kangi
nedda anti kati kaba kangi olw'okuba
nuupu yafuna 8 billion.
kati omanyi lwaki kuba bazigaba okusinziira ku muwendo gw'ababaka. Kati nze omwaka nfune miliyoni nga 6.
Bagamba bina
omwaka nfune miliyoni nga 6 kuba ndi ogwo. Kakati nuupu weefunire biliyoni 3 olw'ababaka abangi, nze mbeera miliyoni nga 6 omwaka. Kati NRM ebeera mu biliyoni nga 7-8. Okitegeera ati kisinziira ku ziba ziteereddwa mu budget. Okitegeera olw'okuba ku luno bwalimu biliyoni nga 3 kyali kitegeeza nti n'omutemwa gugenda kukola ki? Gugenda kweyongera. Yes. So bw'oyogera ku ssente era nazo njagala ozoogereko ng'okimanyi nti tuzifuna okusinziira ku ki? Ngezezzaako okukiwakanya.
Nakuwulira ng'owakanya ng'oyagala bagabe kyenkanyi.
Saayagala bagabe kyenkanyi kuba nakyo bayinza okugamba nti Basalirwa toyagala kuriwadinga hard worker. Nagamba nti tugambe bwe ziba zize zonna omutemwa nga 40% ebitundu 40 ku 100 kigabanyibwe bwenkanyi, 6 ku 100 zigende ku muwendo.
Numerical consideration. Kiba kitegeeza nti ana bwe gajja ffenna buli kibiina kifune
kyenkanyi.
Kati ku 6
kuba
fune kusinza ku maanyi
kuba kitwagala hard work. Kankiyite hard work wadde nga gobadde mu bululu sometimes okubeera n'ababaka abangi si hard work. Omanye ebigenda mu maaso wakati awo naye eyo saagala gendayo. Era ekimu ku byantwala mu iPod pointi yange yali eyo nga ngamba nti omutemwa ogutuweebwa tukanye nti wabeerewo wetugabanya kyenkanyi. Kati ate waliwo n'obulyaz'amaanyi obulala bwe njagala okutegeeza mwami Simon. Kati olaba etteeka eriteekawo okuwa ebibiina ensimbi ligamba nti mu mwaka gw'ebyokulonda in the year of election sente zigabanyizibwe kyenkanyi. Mu mwaka gw'ebyokulonda sente zigabanyizibwe kyenkanyi.
That's what the law says.
That's what the law says. Naye Electoral Commission bwefuna sente ezo ate zigabira ku numerical strength.
Omwaka gw'ebyokulonda tuba tubala 2 tugeze for example 2025.
So financial year eyo 2025 2026 sente ziteekwa kugabirwa kyenkanyi. Etteeka bwe likola ki? Era twawaaba n'omusango.
Etteeka no balikola toliiwo Basalirwa.
Ne balikola siriiwo.
Watu nayingira pala.
Nali sinaba kuyingira
pala. Ni wali mukulembeze mu kibiina.
Nali mukulembeze.
Babeebuuzaako.
Batwebuuzaako.
How did it come?
Anti yo yali idea yaffe nebeera defeated. Mwami Amaba Mbabazi ebiseera ebyo yali Secretary General w'NRM. Ne tubeera defeated. Ekitegeere twali defeated. So n'olwekyo ezo sente ate era kyenjagala n'okutereeza mwami Simon. Sente teziva wa mwami Museveni. Sente ziva mu ggwe ng'omuwi w'omusolo. Simon Muyanga Butayi gw'omanyi nga ggwe oyina ettaffaali ly'oteeka ku JEEMA wadde toli wa JEEMA.
Mbadde sikimanyi kati gookinga.
Kuba kye tukola paalamenti eyise sente ezigenda okuyamba ebibiina by'obufuzi ebirina ababaka mu paalamenti. Kati ezo sente ne zisolozebwa mu misolo abantu bonna gye bakola ki?
Gye bawa.
Kyova olaba nga mwami Simon oyina all the moral right okubuuza ebifa mu JEEMA.
Lwaki otubuuza ebifa mu pati zenda batuvuma buvumi?
Kati ndi kuba ompise wano okusomesa.
I understand.
Oyina moral right
ebuuza ebiri mu kibiina kyonna
kyonna
as a taxpayer.
As a taxpayer. oyina moral right.
Ako kapya. Nga batuvuma.
Ate nkubuulira sirina buyinza bukugamba nti gwe muyanga lutaaya ononoza ebiri mu JEEMA oli wa JEEMA naye ng'afuna sente zo gw'omuwi w'omusolo. Yes, kyova olaba nze bwe ndaba bantakula nga JEEMA ayirisene kuba bwe mulivaayo mmwe bannayuganda ne mugamba nti sente zaffe zigenda mu biina by'obufuzi zirekere gendayo ne muteekawo pressure bwe kityo bwe kijja okubeera.
What is life like being a lone member of parliament among 529 MPs? How have you found that?
No, it is both a challenge and an advantage.
Let's start from the challenge.
It is a challenge in the sense that if there is an issue, your colleagues meet and caucus over it.
For you meet yourself?
You meet yourself.
Caucus in your heart?
Yes, you caucus with your heart, with your soul, with your spirit. Inside. Obviously, outside you can go back to your party and get opinion, views.
I understand.
But on the floor, you are alone.
That's a challenge.
A very big one. Ekyokubiri, waliwo there are times when there are events and activities. I'll give you an example. About 3 months ago, I had a fundraising for a health center in Naluwerere, in Wajiri municipality. And one of my colleagues from the sister opposition parties had a function on that day. Now, all other colleagues of mine went to that other function because they belong to the same what?
The same party.
So I was virtually alone from the opposition at my function, with the exception of a few
who managed
to make it. It's really a very big challenge.
I understand.
Now the advantage is that you become a free thinker. You're a free thinker. You are not bogged down by position.
Numbers.
Yes, wow. No position. The party has decided, even against your conscience. Number two, you freely interact
with everybody.
Exactly, because minorities survive through networking and lobbying. Networking and lobbying. I'll give you an example. Because of my networks, that function which I held in Vijay, the one I'm talking about, had many NRMs, including a minister.
Yes.
Including a minister.
Yes.
Now, if I was not good at networking,
you'd remain
and
alone.
I needed money, I would have been alone. What a shame it would have been. But including a minister came and he gave me 5 million in cash.
Let us now touch legislative impact. What impact would you really make as a lone member of parliament, if not a waste of our money?
No, even if you were not a lone member of parliament, legislative impact can only be collective. Can only be collective. I'll give you an example. If a bill may come, a government bill, okay, they are the majority, not so?
Yes.
But they appeal to us, the minority and the opposition, to support them. Why? Why? They would be coming and saying, after all, we are the majority, let's have our way. But they will still appeal to us. They even appeal to their own members, because a bill may come and is unpopular even internally within the NRM.
Okay.
So you need everybody. But we can talk about individual contributions. And Simon, for me, I must say, at the risk of blowing my own trumpet, at the risk of blowing my own trumpet, in this parliament here, there is no legislator who has brought more private bills than myself. Do you know of any?
No.
And I can mention. And I even don't want to talk about the most popular one, the one you want so much.
No.
Yes.
That will come at the end. I am waiting to come at the end. I want it so
Yes.
much.
Let me talk about those that you even don't take time to ask me their impact. People actually don't know why there are political party rallies around now. People don't know. I'll tell you partly it's because of my bill. The Law Revision Miscellaneous Amendment Bill.
The law revision, yes.
The Law Revision, I'm the one who moved that bill as a private member. And you know part of its objective?
Tell me.
Was to remove clauses in the Public Order Management Act where police was using to stop public meetings.
But they have done the same?
No, not under Public Order Management. Not under Public Order Management.
What other law allows them to do? They quote the Police Act.
Exactly. Not under Public
So how
Order.
did you revise this and miss out on the other?
No. You remember, Public Order Management had been quashed by the Constitutional Court. But it was still being used because it was in the law books. The law I brought dropped it off.
It is no longer...
You cannot see it anywhere.
And cite it.
Yes. You cannot see it anywhere and cite it. And not only that, they were... Because what I did in that piece of law that I brought was to get all the laws that had been nullified by court.
And bring to the attention of Parliament.
And bring it in one law. To clean up.
Oh.
Okay? To clean up the Law Revision Miscellaneous Amendment Law.
Right.
Number 2, the narcotics law. You are aware I moved it as a private member.
Yes.
Government took it over. And it is now law.
When the government picks it over, do they acknowledge your effort in it?
Yes, and they even consult. They call and consult.
And
Yes.
what did you intend to do in this bill?
They will call and consult and actually harmonize, because remember at that point there will be 2 bills. There will be a government bill and a private member's bill. So you are asked to reconcile, but the rules of procedure require government to take over a bill.
It's very good.
Okay?
That's very good.
So you are aware of the narcotics.
Yes. Very good.
I brought, you know that it is me and Honorable Magogo that brought the sports bill. And the government took it on.
And Magogo is celebrating it very well.
Yes.
That finally, the sports administration in our country is
And
properly
they invited us in a meeting here at the Ministry of Education. I attended the meeting with Honorable Magogo as private movers. Honorable Boa was still Minister for Education and we surrendered it. But they worked with us. You have heard of the legal aid bill that seeks to ensure that vulnerable Ugandans access free legal services. We want to compel government
to provide free legal services to vulnerable
Ugandans.
My question,
I and Honorable Egon Silas, it is still in Parliament. Okay?
you have done a contribution.
You are aware of I am now, as of now, you know that I'm working on the anti-counterfeiting bill to deal with all forms of counterfeits. Parliament gave me leave about a month ago and I'm doing research.
That's an enormous contribution.
Yes.
You may end up performing more than the other groups that have more numerical strength.
No, because, and so, that is obviously over and above other contributions we make on the different bills that come on the floor.
That's interesting.
You are aware that I and Honorable Akamba, about 3 weeks ago, we are granted leave to bring an amendment on the Magistrate Courts Act to address the issue of private prosecutions. Then I will not talk about that one. That you have Antikakati.
You are working more than government is working.
Munsi bw'obeeranga mu nsi muno ogezaakako nnyo okulondako bw'oyagala okujjukirwa. Okitegeera?
Legacy you leave.
Njagala nnyo nzijukirwe ng'omubaka wa paalamenti eyalabanga ensonga n'azikwata n'akolagana ne banne ne lifuuka etteeka ery'ensi. Kuba mu ekyo mulimu ebintu bibiri. Nze buli kooti weegoba etteeka ng'egamba nti oba paalamenti yaliyisa bubi oba liyina obuwayiro wa ssemateeka lwekontana nalyo, ekimu ku bimu bye neetuma nze nga Basalirwa kufuna tteeka eryo nenziramu nendyetegereza nerirongoosebwa nendikomyawo. Kuba waba waliwo ensonga lwaki paalamenti yakola ki? Yaliyisa.
The inside out ne Asuman Basalirwa. Asuman, conduct empisa zo mu parliament n'enkolayo ziraga nti waliwo wafunamu okutendekebwa okw'abantu oba mu ddiini oba mu kusoma oba mu mateeka. Is that right?
Ekituufu.
Baani bojjukira baakutendeka wate weeyisanga abalala?
Okusingira ddala omugenzi Honorable Hussein Kyanjoyo bwe nali naakayingira paalamenti 2018 kuba ojjukira nagira mu by-election.
Yes.
Yantuuza Kyanjoyo era waliwo n'abakulembeze abamu mu ggwanga wano be natwalangayo kuba Kyanjoyo naye yali omu owa JEEMA.
Yes.
Naye ng'ali exception.
True, yali exception.
Kyanjoyo yantuuza nannyinnyonnyola paalamenti kiki ekiteekeddwa okukolebwa, kiki ekitateekeddwa kukolebwa, kiki kyoyogera, kiki kyotayogera.
Eneeyisa.
Bw'obeera n'obutakkaanya ne sipiika okola otya? Bw'obeera n'obutakkaanya ne munno okola otya? Ekitegeera diiri bwe ziba zizze okola ki?
Weeyisa otya? Diiri zijja.
Ekitegeera byonna. So nafuna omukisa. Ekyokubiri, Mwami Simon, paalamenti eyo nze mwe nakolera internship. Okugezesebwa. Bwe nali ntendekebwa amateeka bino bye bagamba nti mugende mu internship. Nze nalonda paalamenti. Kakati neneesanga nga ebbanga linamala mu paalamenti nga ndi ntaano. Nayiga ebintu bingi mu paalamenti nabeerangamu nga ndaba engeri ba mugenzi Agurawoli gye bateesaamu, omugenzi okula epaaka, Okerokero, Nobert Mao, mugenzi Jacob Olanya, baliganya okumwabo bonna. Ffe twatambulanga ne tuva e Makerere ne tujja mu galale kutunula butunuzi
kukola abantu bye bakola.
So ebyo
the inside out. Who therefore have you trained or mentored the way you were mentored?
Mu JEEMA tuyina mentorship program. Ba JEEMA elders buli omu atuwaayo olunaku mu mwezi najja n'ayogera n'abavubuka abaffe.
Really?
Yes.
Does it happen?
It happens. Era omugenzi Kyanjoyo nga tananafuwa abadde akikola, Imam Kasozi akikola, Mayanja Kibirige akikola, okusingira ddala that level yaba elders nange nkikola. Kati ffe twakiteekawo eyo deliberate program mu kibiina ekyaffe kuba ffe twagala omuntu abeere wa JEEMA emisana n'ekiro. Oba ekyo okitegeera?
Okitegedde.
Omuntu twagala abeere wa JEEMA emisana n'ekiro. Omuntu ategeere lwaki wa JEEMA. Ebibatawaanya abantu wano mbwa ideology mbuki bono yakyuse. Okitegeera? Nti ono yakyuse, ono yagize eki. ideology yetawanya abantu naye ate ffe ng'eggwanga situfuddeeyo nnyo kunnyonnyola abantu
that ideology
kiki kye tuli era obwo buzibu bw'amaanyi kyova olaba nga waliwo omuntu atya okusisinkana muyanga lutaaya wonna musisinkana ajja kukyusa
akukyusa ate gwe
kyalina omutwe gwange
kikyewaze nakyo
n'obwongo bwange kyogamba seerowooleza toyogera n'oyo ajja kukukyusa lwaki nze simukyusa
lwaki nti nagenze mukyusa yeye yankyusizza. I know you as an ambitious person who has kept on climbing from one level to another. Let me ask, do you still think after 2 terms as a member of parliament you are still fit to be MP for Bugiri, or you are now going to a different level, say at presidential level?
Sinaba kuweza bisanja bibiri
okiyita kimu kitundu
kuba ekyasooka nakikolako emyaka 2 naye biga question yo egamba nti oba nina programu erowooza beyond MP. Definitely
sure
sigerangako ku makya kuba at least tutambudde naawe ebbanga ddene kuviira ddala mu biri ebyaffe bwe tubadde mu high school newa naye nze sigerangako ku makya neŋŋamba nti ensi eno eteekwa kufugibwa abantu balala nga nze siriimu era ne mu kibiina ekyange ekya JEEMA bakimanyi era nabagamba nti bwe tunaatuuka okukyusa strategy kubanga bwe nkugambye nti saawa zino twagamba waggulu tuveeyo tukole ki tukke wansi nga bwe nyanyonyodde bwe tunaaba tukkaanyiza okukyusa strategy mu bbanga lyesimanyi badelegates banaaba basazeewo nti kaakati tuddeyo gye twasookera ndi more than ready.
Okay.
Ndi more than ready
to go back to that process.
Kugonda mu process eyo. So nze sibeerangako awo nga ambition yange yakubeera kusigala ku MP. No. It is definitely broader than that.
Away from JEEMA, in one statement, what's the future of the JEEMA party according to you?
Anti kakati, the future of JEEMA party, as long as there is still injustice, as long as there are challenges in education, in the economy, in the morals, in the Africanness and how we relate, the future is very bright, because the party was primarily formed to address those challenges. So bw'olinkomyawo wano n'oŋŋamba nti mu Uganda obwenkanya buyitiridde nnyo oba ebyenjigiriza tuli ku mutindo tujja kubanga tetukyali relevant.
President wa Justice Forum bwetu bwe tumalize ensonga yaffe esooka eya JEEMA okugitegeera bingi byakoze n'ebingi bye.
This is Inside Out.